So hello friends. So today we'll be talking about one of the AI agent will be helping us in our Playwright automation. So that is Zero Step. This is the website and it says supercharge your Playwright test with AI. It is an NPN binding and you can download it with Zero Step. What it says is that you don't need to write the selectors if you need to interact with the elements. For example, this is the first name. You normally find it using the locators, that first name ID or last name ID and respectively all. Now what they are saying is that instead of doing all the stuff, you just need to write fill out the form with realistic values and it will fill up the data. So they have some given use cases and how they are saying that it is good in terms of their conventional approach. Like you don't need to use selectors. You can work very quickly. Your automation suite can be developed very quickly. The maintenance would be low and others type. There are around 500 requests. So in few months back, it was around 1K and now it is 500 requests. So whenever you call one, it is considered as a one request. So in a month, you will get 500 requests. If you want to buy it, so for $20, you can buy 2000 and similarly, you can increase your requirement as per your requirements you can increase. So what you need to do, you need to log in. So I have created my account, I have logged into it. So it gives you a very beautiful dashboard and you will find your API key here again. So you can use 500 requests in a month. And so how it works, let me just give you an example as well. Are the client, let's say ID or something, and you went to interact with the playwright, so you give some code and it directly goes with the playwright and work with it. So when I say code, I specifically means that you mentioned the locators. In terms of using zero step, how it works, that you are the client and you send the prompt that I need to click an element to zero step. Zero step then communicates with LLM. It gives the prompt to LLM and it understand it. So what will do, it will visit that page, web page, and let's say there was a button, right? So LLM will understand that okay, you need to click on this button, and what it will give, it will may give some locators or something. So it cannot be a unique, it may be a locator like div or something, it can be anything, and it will send back to zero step. And what will zero step do? Zero step will communicate with playwright and will do the automation. So how this is less flaky and easy development in terms of the traditional way, what they are mentioning is before you need to mention the locators. Let's say you said click on login button and you need to click on the login button by its ID. In future, let's say here, in this case you give a prompt. So in future, if the ID changes or even the button changes, whatever changes, so the LLM will decide what login it needs to be clicked and what type of login it is. It is a button or there are two buttons, and how it will work, and it will accordingly will tell the playwright that you need to click those buttons. So this is how this zero step works. Under the hood, they've mentioned that zero step AI function unlocks the power of chat GPT 3.5 and GPT-4. Right. So the LLM they are using is 3.5 and GPT-4. So you cannot use any another model. You cannot use cloud or something like that. So let me open my Visual Code. So I have one project. Okay. So in this workspace, I have some prerequisites that this is a package.json. So what I have done, I have included the playwright test. Also, I've included the dependency of zero step. And I have also added the dependency for the dot environment. Also, I have added a playwright config file. So it is just a simple config file where I'm mentioning that what would be the timeout, where you can find the test. Also that you need to take a screenshots on failure and video on failure, and the default browser you need to run on the Chromium desktop. So this is some configuration which I have done. After you have done, you just open your terminal and you just need to do npm install. So for my case, it is already installed, but in your case, it will install all these dependencies which are mentioned in package.jsn, it will install the Playwright and its Chrome dependencies as well. So we'll be working on this Calendly website. So what it happens is when I visit this calendar, so there would be a window which is saying that you need to accept the or decline the cookies. So what we will do, we will accept it. Then we will just click on the today's date and we will select the first timing. We will click on next and we will add a dummy data. Let's say we will add here helping tester. Email we will say helping tester @yopmail.com, and just I will write a comment book calendar and I will schedule the event. So it is saying the email format is incorrect. Okay, let me correct it. There were two @ and once it is done, we will verify that your calendar is scheduled. Now we won't be working with this traditional. Instead, what we'll be doing, we will be using the prompt. So we'll be telling the prompts and ZeroStep will be automating it. So let me here create a new file. I will name it a test meeting scenarios.js. So I've added a simple test here. So what I'm doing here is I'm just importing the Playwright test. I'm importing the ZeroStep library and with the name AI, and I am installing or importing the environment variables. So for using of the ZeroStep, you need to mention the key, my ZeroStep account. Let me just sign it again. You will find an API key here. So you need to just copy it and you need to create an environmental variable env and you need to mention zero step token and you need to paste it here. Okay, so once you are done, now this is the dummy test case. So in this test case, I am trying to book a calendar time slot. So I'm just navigating to the page where I need to perform the test. And in case of error, it will take the screenshot to a location. So currently I'm not doing using any of the ZeroStep. It's just a plain test. So let's see if it is working fine. And then we add the library of how to use the library of ZeroStep. Now let me write npx playwright and my test and the file name. And let's see that. Okay, so it should be npx. Okay, so it is working fine. The test has passed. So let us now use the ZeroStep library for automating it. So we have opened this. So we have opened this. Now what we want to do? Now we want to click on this element. First, there is a pop-up comes of I understand. So we need to first click on that. Okay. So the items which I have talked about, so I have written and detailed them out here to save the time. So basically what I am doing is, let me just format the selection. Okay. So what I'm doing is basically first I'm navigating to the website and then I'm verifying it with the ZeroStep library using await AI dot. And I will be verifying that verify the calendar is displayed, and I need to give here the page and the text context here. I will wait for 2 seconds and then I will say that click on I understand. So there is a cookies box here that you accept or decline the cookie. So I'm just mentioning it that you need to click on I understand, then wait for some time and select the IST time zone. So this I need to select this IST time zone. Then what I need to do, I need to select the today's date, which is in blue color. Then I click on first available time slot. So I need to select the first one and then I need to click on next. In the next page, what I'm saying is that to fill out the form with realistic data. So I'm not entering any data, it needs to be filled. So this ZeroStep is very good. It will identify that what data, realistic data should be, and it will fill out that data. So it help us as a test management as well. Then I will say click on submit, and after submitting you just on the next page verify that the text is coming, you are scheduled or not. So this is my test case. So if you're seeing it here, so how quick it is, I just developed this automation test case in 5 minutes. I don't need to worry about any locators. in future the design of the website changes or some context in sometimes of any step changes. So it is very powerful enough to identify what the changes is and it will work accordingly. Now let us run it and see how it is working. So it has open it, but verify. Oh, it is was not saved. So let me just run it again. So it is navigating to the website. It should not click on I understand. And okay, it's clicked understand. Now it's selecting the time zone as IST. It will select the today's date and the first available time. See how good it is. It is selecting next and it will now land to the next page and it will fill the data on its own. I have not entered any data and it will schedule it. And the test case has passed. If I run the report, so you can find here all the steps what it has done or not. So it has evaluated it. You is finding a step here. What is doing it? It is doing mouse over, then it is clicking on it, all that stuff. So you can find details in the logs. So you I can see it is a much powerful tool here. I just need to mention here that though it is a very smart, you need to do some tweaks as well. And sometimes it works and sometimes it not. So currently it worked very fine, right? And if I execute the same test case 5 times, it would be the case that it would fail the fifth time or it can fail the third time. Once it's failed, once it passed, and there is nothing you can do. Sometimes it is how better you can prompt. For example, on this page, if I am saying that click on the date, so what it is first going, it is first going to select the time zone. So I specifically here mentioned that select IST time zone. Also, when I said to click on the date, it is selecting the tomorrow's date. So I specifically mentioned select today's date, which is in blue. So sometimes you need to tune your prompts as well so it can easily identify the websites. There is nothing wrong in your prompts, but what I would say, it is the integration of the prompts and the library. So though your prompt which you have given, so let's say if I say that navigate on this page and clicked on the first available date, it's a very good prompt, but it might not work here and you need to give a tweak that click on the first date which is in blue color. So it might be the case your prompt is good, but you need to find the best way how the zero step and prompting works in your case. And it is flaky. Sometimes it can work, sometimes it not, but this is how it is. So when I run this, if you go to your zero step, you can see your consumption as well. So currently it is saying that I have consumed in my monthly quota 118 requests of 500. I consider this file, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I run this file, every time 8 requests do increases. No, what I will do, I will just comment this code and I will paste a new code. So what we are doing here, so whatever the action item we did, so currently it is taking our 8 API request, 8 AI zero step API request. So what I can do, I can just write in a single prompt as well. As they have mentioned in a website, also it works with AI prompt. So to fill the documents, they instead of telling fill the first name, fill the last name, fill the street address, you can write the prompt, fill out the form with realistic values. So in case of forms, what I have seen it works, but not in case of scenarios. So for example, if these are 8 steps, if I try to club them in a single prompt that click on the first day in the month available and click on the select the first available time and click on next button, fill out the form and submit the form. So I just trying to do in a one single prompt and let's see if it's working or not. And I'm saying that it will hallucinate. It won't be able to work that. How these LLM and agents work is that the more shorter, more small, the more concrete your prompt is, so they work the best. Okay. So you can see here that it was not even able to click the I understand because it is not work good for the prompts. Instead of individual actions, it worked fine. So for the first case, it worked fine, but in the second case, it didn't work very well in our case. Now let us make our text more optimized. So every time I need to write this page test. So let's visit their official documentation. So you can use these fixtures and so that you don't need to write the page and test every time. So let me do it. So I need to create one file and just add this fixture. So let me write zero playwright fixture.js and let me put the code here. So this what this code is doing is basically importing the test in our playwright. So it is just giving a name base to it, and what it is doing, it is providing or it is extending, basically it's adding more capability from the playwright, from the zero step playwright. So it is again, it is getting the test from default playwright, and it is extending its capability and just naming it as test again and exporting that test. So let me just copy and rename the file here, create another file other way. So what I need to do here is that I don't need to import now test from the playwright test. Instead, I now need to import the test from the zero playwright fixture what we just created. So I just need be referring this test, not the playwright default test. In the async, I need to include the AI. Let me just delete this, uncomment my test case, and now I don't need to use this page test. Now let me save it and run it. So it is a very clearer version of it. Now I don't need to write page test again and again for my test cases. So let me now run it again and let's see if it's working fine. Yes, so it is opening the website and it is working. Right, so a cleaner version of R0 playwright. Let me just cancel it now. Right. So this is a very powerful tool so for using in your project. So I won't recommend it that make your every forms and interacting with the AI. So I would say here that use it wisely because else you will consume all your requests. So I would say use it wisely, that in the areas where you feel that there is more flakiness. Let's say you are clicking or extracting a locator in a table which don't have good identifiers, locators there, or let's say you are interacting with maps and other stuff. So for that, adding the locators is not possible or it is flaky. So use it smartly using the zero step, because to add here that zero step, the time of execution will delay. When you are interacting with direct with playwright, it is faster, but when you are using through zero step, it will be slow, plus you will be paying it for as well. So there are other agents except zero step like auto playwright. We have browsing agent as browser use. So that I will be covering in my next videos. Thank you.